Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ikemji, and if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe, like and share this video. So today's tutorial is a continuation of my previous video on the pattern drafting of this outfit. So if you're seeing this outfit for the first time, then you would want to watch the pattern drafting of this dress, which I have already provided its link at the description below. So to get started, this is a video that contains the sewing from the starting point to the finishing point of this dress. So you might want to get interested, so please let's get engaged. So here, this is the drafted pattern of this dress. Like I explained at the beginning of this video, that I've already provided for you the link for the pattern drafting of this dress. And here, this is the front pattern and this is the back pattern, and I've actually gone ahead to add 0.5 inches at the front yoke and also at the upper part, and that goes for the same for the back piece where I added 0.5, which is for my sewing allowance. And I also went ahead to cut the exact shape for my lining for both front and back. So I'm just going to take away this one side so I can explain what the next step is going to be. So for the lining, I went ahead to cut the exact shape for the main fabric, also for the lining. So what next I'm going to do right away is to take my lining for both front and back, and I'm going to mark an inch of 1 inch and above. That is why you can actually see that my chalk there where I drew the line, that is 1 inch. So I just want my dress to have a turn up. So as we continue this video, I'm going to show you what turn up actually means. So turn up is just like reducing the lining by 1 inch or 2 inch depending on the allowance you are given. So this is just me cutting out the 1 inch that I actually marked on my lining so that it can be lesser than the main fabric, since I provided allowance for it. So after cutting it now, I will just place it back on my dress so that I can show you what I simply mean. So you can see there that there is a shortage of 1 inch from the main fabric, so that when you are sewing, the main fabric can then come up a bit, which will give you a turn up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it for the back as well. So this is just for the back piece, that's for the two of them, that's for the two pieces of the back, and this is where I've already marked my 1 inch allowance for the shortage, which I am going to simply cut through. So after that, next I will go ahead to do now is to insert my darts just the way I have explained at the pattern drafting of this dress. So I'm just going to do the darts on the main fabric and on the lining and the back piece as well. So after that, this is basically what you are going to have. This is the front and this is my dart intake. And I equally went ahead to do the same thing for the back and also for the lining, and this is basically what it looks like. So next I'm going to be doing right away is to insert my yoke. So I'll just align my yoke and my fabric properly and ensure that the midpoint of the yoke and the midpoint of the main fabric are facing each other properly, and also the right side of my yoke and the right side of my fabric are facing each other. Then I'll go ahead and sandwich with my lining, ensuring that the inner part, that's the front part of the lining, is facing the front part of my fabric, and I'll equally go ahead and use pin to support them down in order to sew it easy for me. So after that, I will go ahead and stop stitch it. So I will do the same for the back piece as well and use my lining to sandwich it before taking it to the sewing machine to sew and stop stitch it. So after that, this is basically what we are going to have. As you can see, I've sewn it and actually stopped stitch it for both the front piece, and this is what it looks like. You can see the net in there is sandwiched, and also I did the same for the back, and you can see it's coming out neatly very well. So what I'm going to basically do next is to turn my front piece upside down like this, and then flip it to the back area so that I can go ahead and stitch the down area and also stop stitches, and do the same for the back. So this is what it's going to look like. As you can see, I've sewn and stopped stitches. So when I say you are going to have your lining 1 inches less for you to have a turn up, this is what it simply means. So you can see that the fabric is inside, a little bit inside the lining area, and that goes for the back piece as well. I hope I really explained what turn up actually means. So next I'll go over to do is to take my measurement for this dress. So I went basically to get the length of my bust, which is actually 10 inches, and for the horizontal measurement is what, 9 inches, and I just marked that there. Then for my waist length is actually what, 16 inches, and my round waist measurement, which is actually 28 divided by 4, and that's 7, which I just marked that there. And then the hip length is actually 25 inches from my shoulder, which I just marked there. And my round hip measurement is actually 36 divided by 4. I have 9, which I also marked there. So next I'm going to do now is to join those points together, just as you see me do in this video. So after joining them together now and blending them very well, next I'm just going to do is to replicate my hip measurement to my full length, which is actually 9 inches, which is the same with my hip measurement. So I'm just going to mark that and then connect them together. So after doing that, I'll replicate this measurement to the other side, which I just did, as you can see. So after that, next I did was to take my back and place on the table, ensuring that the zip parts are facing each other, and then I'll take my front piece like this and place it on top of my back piece this way, so that I can go ahead and use pin to secure them down before I take it to the sewing machine to sew those areas that I've actually marked there. So you just, as a beginner, you just have to do this so that it will be easy for you when stitching down in your sewing machine. So after joining the sides and the shoulder, this is what you are going to have. As you can see, I have gone ahead to sew the sides of the dress, and it's coming out neatly, and also went ahead to sew the shoulders, and this is what the inside look like. After that, next I'll be doing is to insert the sleeve, and I've gone ahead to draft out the basic pattern for the sleeve. So if you're finding it difficult to actually draft a basic pattern sleeve, I already have a video which I've linked at the description below. So what I'm basically going to do is to measure out the sleeve, the length I'm working with, which is actually 28, because I want the dress to really be long based on the style given. So next now is that green line that you are seeing that is marked on this sleeve, which is the beginning point of where the flare is going to start from down to the full length of the sleeve. So my length is actually 19 each, where I want the flare to begin from, which I've marked green there. So next I'm going to do now is to get the midpoint of that side. So whatever is going to be the midpoint, I'm just going to mark that, just as you see me doing this video. So after marking that there, I'm just going to connect it down to the wrist area, which is the full length of this sleeve. So after doing that, I'm going to connect both marks together, and I will simply go ahead and slash that part open, because I want to be using the slash and spread method. That is why I had to open this area a bit to end there. You don't have to cut it completely. So next I went and did is to place my pattern on my material, which I've already folded into two. So I'm just going to pin that to secure it down before going ahead to cut it. So when I cut it, I'm going to cut the other sleeve with this one I've already cut, just as you see me do in this video. So after cutting through for both sleeves, this is basically what you are going to have. So next I'm going to be doing is to insert my sleeve to my dress, and then I've gone ahead to turn my dress to the wrong side. And what I'm going to do is to get the midpoint of my shoulder for my main dress, and I'll equally pick the midpoint of my sleeve to ensure that both midpoint of the sleeve and the shoulder points are facing each other, and the right sides are facing each other, ensuring that the wrong side are facing upwards, that's towards me, for both the sleeve and the dress. So next I'm going to just do is to use pin to secure them down, so that it can be easy for me when sewing. So I advise you as a beginner to actually use pin to hold it down so that they can be well aligned before taking it to the machine to sew. So after attaching your sleeve to the dress, the next thing you're going to do is to sew the sides of your sleeve. So after that, this is basically what you're going to have. I've equally gone ahead, to stitch every part down and also iron it. And as you can see, everything is coming out neatly and good. So next I'm going to be doing is to insert my turtleneck. So what I'm going to basically do now is to get my tape and measure round the neck area, just as you see me do in this video. So after taking the measurement for the round neck, which is actually 20.5, which is this. So next I'm going to be doing it right away is to get a long strap, as you can see. So I'm going to place that on fold now, and I'm going to measure out my 20.5. So what I'm going to do is to get a starting point, which I just marked there. So from that point now, I'm just going to measure what I need, which is actually 20.5. I'm just going to mark that there. and then I will make the width to actually be 2 inches, whereby 1.5 will be our normal depth neck, and then 0.5 will be our sewing allowance, which is a total of what, 2 inches. So this is just me ensuring that all the sides are actually 2 inches, and I keep adjusting to make sure I get what I want. So after I've confirmed that this is what I want, I will basically go ahead and cut throughout the dress, just as you see me do in this video. After cutting through, this is basically what you are going to have. So next I'm going to do is to insert this to my main dress. So next I'm going to just do is to ensure that the right side of both dress and the neck strap are facing each other. Then I will ensure that they are well aligned as well. Then I'll equally use pin to secure them down, so that while sewing it can be easy for me and it won't shift as well. So after doing that, I'll take it over to the machine and sew, and I'm going to take the other parts to flip it over, ensuring that I fold another ½ inches, which I'm going to place it on top this way and then stop stitch it carefully. You can actually use pin to support it down if you find it difficult while sewing. So after doing that, this is basically what you're expected to have. As you can see, everything is well neat and top stitched. So next I'm going to do now is to place my zip, and I'll be working with 1.5 inches while inserting my zip. And after that, this is basically what you are going to have. As you can see, it's well neat and it has already come out nice, and I'm giving it a good press. So if you find this video very helpful, please do subscribe, like, turn on the notification bell to get notified anytime I upload a new video in this channel. See you in my next video. Bye.